Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. After 888 episodes of doing lives, we're going to talk about what we have learned and what we know. And we've brought on the expert storyteller, Jonathan Krieg. Stay tuned. Nice.
Good morning, gents.
Top of the morning.
Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Pleasure to have you on as always.
Great to be here, Billy. 888 episodes. Congratulations, guys. What an achievement.
It's a nice number.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We forgot, we ran out of stuff to talk about.
Oh, so you brought me on because you ran out of things to talk. You guys never run out of things to talk about. It's the magic of the content that you make. Is you treat your content just like you're having a conversation, and it's almost as simple as that. It's the hardest thing to do, to be simple, but that's what you guys do, and that's why you got here.
It's true.
Do you reckon it's helped business?
You tell me.
Yeah. People, it's helped everyday topics get out there for people, where people actually ask us for, which makes it easier. They ask us for content to go up. Like last night, we got a request from a client. Always there's something coming through, but last night the request was trying to understand the stamp duty.
Yeah.
If we could get them to do one for us. So yeah, it's a lot of work. I didn't realise once you add it all up, but I guess we do a lot of work anyway in the course of our 40-hour, 100-hour, 80-hour weeks that we do. So it all adds up, eh?
But I think that's, and we'll invite Billy in on this because I would love to get his opinion, is that a lot of people don't realise how much work it is, and that's why they don't do it. But what they also don't realise is that if you do the work, it works. And that's always the key to it, right? So they treat social media, and Mark, you and I have spoken about this so many times, they treat social media as a tick the box. I'm just going to randomly throw pieces of content inconsistently up on my Facebook page or my other platforms and hope that someone sees the house I'm talking about and buys it. And the content that you guys have made, the content that works, is well beyond just digital tours of homes. You've actually built a storytelling narrative around your business and the growth of your business. And I think this year, when you sold that property in Manly, it was almost like the crescendo of that 3 or 4 years work, because of the way that you covered that auction was almost like it was an auction on the block. And everyone can follow the journey. Everyone could follow the journey of how Lisa's grown, how you've grown, how Billy's come into the business, he's grown. Then you're introducing different players of your soap opera. Billy's the luckiest real estate agent in Australia. There's no doubt about it, because he's come straight into a content-driven business, which is, if he ever decides to leave, and I don't think he will, because he'd be mad if he did, wouldn't you, Billy? Absolutely. That he now understands the value of content. He's learning how to make the content. He's learning how to be engaging. You see him now. He started off as this scared, almost little schoolboy-looking guy, a bit nervous. Now he's up there with these beautiful girls, co-hosting his own shows. He's got his haircut done for today's episode. He's flying. And he'll never know real estate any other way. Just doing this will be part of his business, and it is the way of the future. So he's so much further in front than anyone else that this guy right here could be the luckiest real estate. Just landed the plum job, Mark.
Very, very lucky. It is like a story, actually, now that you think of it.
It's documented the whole way.
Yeah, it's funny.
The whole business, Novak Properties, is its own soap opera, right? It is like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, just throw in real estate. Like it really is. Now, this is how it is, because people like us who watch from the outside, and some of us have been lucky enough to be inside as well, you're getting to learn these personalities. And like, you know, maybe you're not going to sit there at 7:30 on a Monday night and sit there for half an hour and watch everything about Novak for half an hour. But in the smaller snippets of social media, you're doing enough to grab attention, deliver value, you're being real, relevant, and relatable to the needs of the people in your market. And as a result, you've started to own your patch. Not only that, keeping up with the Novakians. I love it, Lisa. What a great line, right? So you're owning your patch, but now you're actually stretching beyond your patch because the social media algorithms are going, who are the people who are having conversations at the coffee shop talking about real estate? And whose content can we serve them that gets the reactions that we want to have? Because this is all about, let's take Facebook, for example. They want to keep people on their platform for as long as possible. So they're using the app to listen to the conversations we're having, and then they're having to go out and find the content that matches the conversation. That's as simple as it is. And at the moment, you guys are making so much valuable content online, is that your content gets served up. So that's why you're dominating the airspace. And I tell it to people all the time, you guys aren't any threat to patches in different cities or states, but you're a threat to your neighbors, because once you've saturated the northern beaches and DY and all these areas that you used to talk about all the time,
market,
it's going to stretch out, because Facebook's going to keep looking for new audiences to help you grow, because you help Facebook grow by keeping people watching.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Simple.
It's definitely helped.
Look at Lisa's got to say.
95% of Lisa's
What
appraisals
Lisa
generated by socials, which is crazy when you think about
95% of appraisals I receive are generated by my socials. And I would suggest that somewhere around 90% of the properties she sells are via socials.
Yeah, it's when you think about as an agent looking for a way to try and get some business, it's a great tool to have.
So Mark, you're a creative marketer. You've always been, ever since you started your business as a 21-year-old out of the window of a pie shop. What was the hardest thing for you to achieve when you first opened Novak?
Money.
Yeah. And where does money come from?
Hard work.
Yeah, it comes from business though, doesn't
it? Looking after people.
Yeah.
So basically, finding the people that needed help, helping them, and then obviously that money comes in, and then you pay bills.
So finding the people, there's one way of finding them. You go find them, and then there's another way, which is they find you.
Same thing.
In a way. But the vehicle's different, because what you're talking about there is that when you first started, you had to hustle. You had to get out there and find people who needed help to sell. And then once you sold homes, you started building your reputation because you did it better than others. And then you get better and better and better, and your reputation builds. And then you have other people starting to talk about you. Your conversations that you'd never know were even happening were going on at barbecues in backyards, saying, I just sold my house. It was a great experience. Oh, who'd you use? I used Novak's.
Yep.
And what you guys have replicated, and this is the magic of social media, is that you've replicated the ability, or you've given the information into other people who then talk about you as a referral to others. So it's not actually the people that are watching necessarily when they learn about you. So people who come to Lisa via socials, it's not necessarily that they've come to you because they've found you randomly on social media. It's because someone else has found you, had a great experience, and then referred you in. And as Luke says, attention is key. Awareness is key. They've got to know about you before they do business with you. And social media allows you to scale awareness. And that's what 888 episodes have done.
Well, traditionally the only way that they would learn, once referred to you once, or they've heard about you, the way they would learn about you is they'd ring you up and come into your office and get opposite you, or they'd ring you up and say, can you come to my place and have a chat? That then started changing a little bit with websites, but they they didn't change. They were not dynamic at all. They were just if you wanted to learn about the agent or the agency, it was very one dimensional. Then it changed with socials. So now a consumer, if they are recommended, referred, or like a real estate agent, they can follow them on socials. And if it's a good operator, it's amazing how much depth and how much content they can find out about that person. So much so that they've decided to use that person, and as soon as that person walks through their door, they just go, "Where do I sign?" Well, I know it all. I know, Bill. I've been following you for years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So for Billy, and I'm going to take the hosting role in the middle here. Billy, tell us how you recently, in the last 12 months or so, moved into sales. And obviously the most daunting thing for someone getting into real estate sales is, how do you find your own property on your own steam? And how did you find yours?
Well, I'm lucky where I've been working with Lisa and Michael, and being able to sort of learn off the back of them has been obviously amazing, so helpful. So I'm still in the process of trying to, perfect, I guess the prospecting is tough. So yeah, I haven't actually nailed my first one individually, but working in the team has given me an opportunity to, pick up leads that are already, warm and help clients that have already sort of engaged with Lisa, which has been great. Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
Michael's talented and well beyond his years. I agree, Lisa. Let's make this is the Billy show, Mark. Pump Billy up.
It is. You know what? It's been an incredible journey to watch. Billy listens with his brain. It's even to watch it. It's you can see when he asks a question. It's pretty cool. It's very I've worked like 30 years. I've been an agent now, and I work with a lot of talent. Watch Billy, guys. Incredible.
Thank you.
I think one of the things that these younger agents, and you guys have grabbed it at Novak, is the hardest thing to do is to build your reputation. And we mentioned before with Luke in his comment, attention and awareness. How do these younger agents fight through what's already a pretty competitive market? Well, the beauty that you've got, Billy, is you've got people who are in front of you in your business who are already doing it, and they're generous enough to let you in on it too. So you're sort of coming through on this ability to you're building your reputation on the back of masters of the business. And what it will do, and I think this is the biggest thing I see with agents that I work with, is you're turning cold calls into warm calls, Mark. As you said before, they already know who you are. And so there's no cold calling. And cold calling is probably the scariest thing most agents face. Is like, oh, I really got to sit here all afternoon and ring strangers. This isn't going to be a pleasant experience.
It's hard
but
work.
when they've watched your socials and they know who you are and they've learned a little bit about your life and they know that you've just gone and had your hair cut, and they can connect with you like a human, those cold calls are no longer cold. They're warm.
Jonathan, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
You're a storyteller in the media world, and you've chiseled out a career, a life in educating people. You're a hired gun, and you teach them how to bring the brands alive, or on for instance social media. You call it a storyteller. Where is and today we're talking about our episodes and what we've learned. Where are we going with this? Like, what's the evolution now? If you've seen, what you've been thinking crystallize in the last couple of year or two, what are you seeing the next year or two with digital and the way it's going? Is it more of the same, or talk to us?
No, it's all about evolution and continued evolution. And you guys are pretty different, Mark. I think you realize you're ahead of the pack here. And what you guys are going to do is you got to keep evolving because other people are catching you. Because the problem with success in this space is that you're showing people exactly what you're doing, and that's where success comes from. So, if you're successful, people know about you. And so if people know about what you and what you're doing, then they tend to copy you. So there's a difference between where Novak's is and mass market. For mass market, there's still too many agents simply not making content. They're treating social media like a secondhand clothes store, in a sense. Is that they're not even trying. They're only trying when they're not as busy as they think they should be. And they go, I've got a bit of time, I might go make a video. And then so what they're doing with those videos, they go, I'm just going to go and show this house. Now, the chances of them making a video about a particular house in a particular location and having people in their Facebook feed that want to buy that house at that price in that location, it's like trying to fire a rocket at the moon. You're not going to hit it. You've got to be way more strategic than that. So mass market real estate agents need to draw a line in the sand this year, 2022, and say, right, 2023, we have to do more content, but we have to be strategic about it. Once they decide to be strategic about it, start becoming regular and consistent on social media, they then need to work on their storytelling. They need to understand that just copying other agents who are doing well is not the way that you tell stories. Storytelling is actually connected to your DNA, and the way that Billy tells a story has to be completely different to the way you tell a story, Mark. Otherwise, it's going to come across as disingenuous, and it's not going to connect, and it'll be a complete waste of his time. And it's the biggest challenge facing younger agents is that they watch these shows like $1 Million Listing. They watch people like Lisa. They watch people like Chris Henry up in the Hunter Valley, and they go, I'm going to be like them because what they're doing is working. But you're actually disconnected to yourself. So you have to be genuine to yourself. And that's probably the biggest part of the work that I do is that, I sign up and work with real estate agents on a minimum of a 6-month contract. And probably the first 2 months is actually peeling back all the layers and the masks and revealing who they truly are so that they can tell real, genuine stories. And so that's the next.
And you do only real estate agents?
I focus on real estate, finance, and employment recruitment. They're the 3 areas.
Okay. But I've got a question for you. So tell us in a really short snippet how can you start to tell better stories?
How to start telling better stories?
Where do you start? Yeah. Because the answer before was, come see you, which will be.
You got to buy this book, Billy. I'm going to plug it straight away. The book will give you the secret. But here's the thing. Storytelling's really simple. And I can give it to you. And if anyone wants, I've got a PDF specifically for real estate agents. I'll send it to you for nothing because your friends are Novak. You get on there. It gives you the 3-act play. Storytelling is a 3-act play. Now, a lot of people in social media space are trying to outdo each other, and they want to teach you the 5 stages of the Hollywood plot. They want to teach you the 7 steps of Freytag's pyramid. They want to tell you all these complicated Hollywood movie-level storytelling frameworks. It's too hard for a real estate agent on the go. Real estate agents are naturally already busy. So we need to be able to teach you a way to tell stories that only takes 5 to 10 minutes a time per video. And the simplest way to do that, Bill, is through the 3-act play. Now, the 3-act play goes like this, guys. It's really simple. You start with a problem driven by a desire. So think about your clients. Think about your target audience, your target market. What's a problem driven by a desire that they want solved? Right? How does a first home buyer get into the current market in DY? What's the pathway for someone to buy their first family home? Right? 3 ways to buy your first family home. Right? And you give those strategies. The second act is the journey. You can't just solve the problem straight away. Once you've addressed the problem driven by desire, you've got to let your audience bake in it a little bit. Because if you give them the answer straight away, they're out. They'll take it and they'll run, and you haven't got enough viewing time. So we've got to play to the algorithms a little bit in the social media platforms. So you let them bake a little bit by talking about the current market and understanding the pains that are in the market and triggering that emotional reaction in them where they, it seems a little bit cruel sometimes. Yes, they're stressed a little bit that they can't get into their first home because it's hard. Mainstream media is telling them that it's hard. The property's too hard and too expensive. So you've got to let them bake in that and understand that the problem is a real Then you get to the
people
end
love
of
the bake.
You got to bake them.
People love the bake because imagine a 90-minute movie that finishes in 4 minutes. It's like, man, I wanted a little bit more out of that.
It's the emotional journey, and that's right. So a great way is, if you look at Star Wars, for example, one of my favorite movies of all time. If Princess Leia had actually got the plans to the Death Star to the Rebel Alliance at the start of the movie, we wouldn't have cared. Like, it would have all been over in 5-10 minutes, right?
Yep.
And when people pass away and die, we wouldn't have cried. We never cry about the people who die at the start of movies because we're not emotionally invested. You only cry about 3/4 of the way through near the end because we're emotionally invested. So you do the same with your own videos.
I don't even cry. I don't cry.
And you can make people care about houses the same way too, right? So you can get them emotionally invested in a house, and house purchasing and selling is an emotional journey. So you can do the same thing. The third thing you got to get to is you got to get to the end of the story, Billy, and you got to wrap it up. And it doesn't matter if it ends in success or failure. Most people think that all your videos have to end in success because that's a reflection of how successful you are as an agent. Failure is good. And videos that end in failure, or content that ends with a failure to your story, actually stand out because most people try and go for success. So try and zig when people zag. But when you get to that end, whether it's success or failure, you've always got to have a lesson. And so you've got to say, okay, this is the end of the video. This is the end of it. This is what happened. And now here's the lesson. What did we learn? And that's the value. So you've got these 4 pieces that work. They're really simple. You can do them on the go. You just got to learn how to do them for you. That's it.
There you go. And buy the book.
If you want. If you want to be good.
What's the book called?
Thank you.
The book's called Like, Comment, Share, Buy. Here it is. It's got a very bright cover. You can get it all great bookstores. I wrote this in lockdown 1. It's what kept me sane. And you can get it on Amazon. You can get it anywhere. You've got the bookmark. Maybe you could sign some copies. Send you some copies to send out to your clients before Christmas.
There you go. Help people. All right. Well, that's a show. That's a bit of a long show today, but that was some great stuff there. Hopefully people can learn in any industry if they do want to get more proactive in their business in the digital world, what they can do. Plumbers, electricians, carpenters, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, anyone. Hopefully we've helped people along the way with today's episode.
But if you guys have done, let's just put this in perspective. You've done 888 episodes. And how long? Like 10 minutes per episode.
Yeah.
Just think about how many minutes of attention that is. Like, think about that.
It's a lot.
Think about, like, you couldn't not be noticed making that many episodes. And the beautiful thing is, from here, right, you're in front of everyone else. The way the algorithms work is someone can't just turn up tomorrow and own the term real estate in the Northern Beaches because your content is a bank that gets built on steps and goes up. And so for them to catch you in your patch, they have to start making just as much, if not more, content than yours to catch up to you. So you could stop today. Don't do this. But you could stop today and still be sitting in front for probably the next 6 to 12 months.
Yep.
The problem is, if you haven't started already, and we've got Jazz Singh on there, he's in the agents group down in Melbourne in the West. He makes great videos advertising properties. What I'd love to see Jazz do is start telling stories. Jazz, if you're still watching, kung fu it. Let's go.
We spoke about stopping the morning minutes. We spoke about enough's enough, and said no. It's good. It works. But it's been a lot of at that same time, every single day from Monday to Friday, 7:45, killer. Got to have a strong back. But the team's been incredible. Billy, Lisa,
it's fun.
Michael Silic is new. Patterson's legends.
But see, here's the thing, and I know this goes long, but I think we're giving value here. As you guys evolve, you're introducing new characters to the Novak TV show, essentially. Right? So you're building Billy up as a character. So maybe, next year or in the next 6 months, Novak Morning Minutes becomes Billy's. I don't know what else you'd be doing, Mark, on your drive to work if you weren't doing this, but you start building characters within your soap opera that then take over these roles and you move on to something else. That's the evolution, is building up these guys underneath and girls to then take the reins of the next thing, and then you move on. And I know that the number one thing that people ask you is, how do you keep coming up with all the ideas? How do you keep coming up with knowing what to talk about? The beauty is you talk about what's current in the market at the moment. You treat this show like it's a conversation with someone at a coffee shop. And that means the ideas are endless, because whenever you meet your friends at coffee shops, you've never got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, you've always got something. You don't ring up a friend and not talk. You've always got stuff to talk about. Always. So, and it's good quality. And you know what? I'll tell you how the show started. We have hundreds of conversations in the course of a day, and we just wanted to replicate those most common questions and answers that were asked on the show. So, particularly worked through COVID. So, huge.
And see, with someone like Billy coming through, and Billy, this is your advantage, right? I know I had this conversation with a financial advisor many years ago. He was a young kid, just come out of university, wanted to start becoming a financial advisor. He was working for a successful financial advisor as a junior. And he said to me, I said, you got to start making content. He goes, who wants to take financial advice from a kid earning 60 grand a year? And you know what the answer is? A kid earning 30 grand a year.
Yep.
True.
Yeah. And what you do, Billy, in this is you bring your tribe, your equals, your 20 to 23, 25-year-old guys and girls who are trying to get into property. You're their conduit to this. And so that's why the business will keep evolving.
Yeah. I love it. That is mic drop.
Yeah. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on today. Billy, thank you so much. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
888.